I thought I'd share a small success with you. This is a loaf of sourdough sandwich bread. I started, my hair is weird. I started some starter and it seemed to be doing okay. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try to bake a loaf of bread. I had two different recipes. So I thought, well, this one, the first one I tried, looked easiest and it took the shortest amount of time. So I tried it. It was a total failure. And I think reason one is because my starter, though it was active, it wasn't active enough. And reason two, I just don't know why. Reason two, it, because when I went to make the actual bread, it was real doughy. It didn't feel like a yeast dough is supposed to feel. And of course, the sourdough bread does not have conventional yeast. It just has the sourdough starter. So I ended up throwing that away. It got all dried up and icky anyway, and it's like, ugh, that was a total failure. So then after I fed my starter the next time, it might have been a couple of times, I could tell it was readier because it was light and airy and fluffy and had risen inside of my sourdough, the container keeping the sourdough in. It had risen a bit in there. So I followed a different recipe, and it took a lot longer, but it worked. And so I think it even worked a little too well because I didn't have it timed out just right. And I think I let it rise a little too long because after I finally put it in my loaf pan, I was supposed to let it rise again for a little while. And instead of having some substance so that it would rise up above the pan, it drooped over the side of the pan. So I went ahead and baked it. And what I just showed you was how it turned out. It smells marvelous. So I'm not going to cut into it yet because I want it to be completely cold before I cut into it. But there was one little part that had baked on the outside of the pan, and I pulled that off and ate it, and it was good. So I'm sure that the actual loaf is going to be just fine. So I know that I can be successful with sourdough bread. That's the first one I've ever made that looked halfway correct. And it certainly smells correct. And I knew it was going to be okay because the dough itself, when I was ready to start baking it, tasted the way bread dough is supposed to taste. So that's my success for the day. To let you know, one of the videos I'm going to make soon, and I've been going to do it, I've got some seeds I want to get started, but I'm just kind of dawdling on it because I don't need to have them started quite as soon as now. We're in zone 6B. And if I start things too soon, then they're ready to go outside before they can go outside, and that's not necessarily a good thing. But there are some things that I can start now. And so soon, probably not today, maybe today, maybe not, within the next few days, I will be making a video showing me planting the seeds that I'm going to be planting and getting ready for my spring garden. Well, I hope you're having a marvelous day. May God bless you. May your gardens always be fruitful and plentiful, and may you always be able to tell what is the truth.